What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and we have got Legendary Male Robin as the new Earth Legendary unit, and he's a green infantry mage this time, and he's definitely pretty unique because of his preferred weapon, Master's Tactics. So this weapon gives him minus on special cooldown, and at start of turn he can provide the Grand Strategy status effect to himself and the allies within 2 spaces. So we have seen Grand Strategy only one time before on Duochrom's Duo Button, and Grand Strategy pretty much means the unity effect. So any kind of debuff that you're going to be having, it is going to be productively used with Grand Strategy, so he can provide that to himself and also to allies within 2 spaces, and that is really good because he's going to be making a really good partner for many of the Omni tanks and for many units like Fallen Ike for example, or Legendary Marth. So all of those units are going to be appreciating the Grand Strategy because the Grand Strategy status effect actually does stack up with the Unity skills that you can run in the slot A, or if you have the Unity skill built in into your weapon like Fallen Ike for example. So that's why he's definitely going to be pretty unique, because we haven't really seen any other unit give Grand Strategy status effect to other allies. So he can give that to himself and the allies in 2 spaces, and he also inflicts -4 debuff on himself so that he can basically make use of the Grand Strategy effect, similar to what we have seen before on Duochrom's Duo Button. And he also inflicts -6 debuff on the highest and the second highest stat between attack, speed, defense, and resistance on each ally within 2 spaces, so that again they can make use of the Grand Strategy effect by making use of these debuffs. And whenever the attack is going to be, debuffed, it is going to be subtracting 15 from the attack stat that you have. So this is pretty much a really good support that he can provide to his other allies, and he's definitely going to be pretty nice to be used in AETHER offense for example, where Yune is going to be there for the debuffs, or in Summoner Duels S, where he could provide the Grand Strategy effect to the entire team, which is going to be really good. And like I said, this could be stacked up with a unity effect of stuff like Legendary Marth and Fallen Ike, so it is going to be really good whenever you use those kinds of units, or when you use the units with unity skills themselves. And he can also inflict -3 debuff on the closest foes and the foes within 3 spaces of those foes through their next action. So he's going to be having the visible debuff on the foes as well, and then in the combat he can debuff them for -5 attack, speed, and resistance, and he also gets the follow-up negation. So this weapon is definitely pretty nice for the support, just for the debuffing of the foes and also for providing Grand Strategy to your allies. And then he has got Ignis as a special, and his slot A skill is an exclusive skill in part of the plan, so if he's at or above 25% HP, he can inflict -8 attack, speed, and resistance debuff on the foe in the combat, and then he basically gets the Spectrum Unity effect. So he stacks up the Grand Strategy Unity effect with the Spectrum Unity built into the slot A of the skill, which is going to be really good, and he can make productive use out of any kind of debuff on him, and he already debuffs himself to make use of that, so that is going to be pretty amazing. And he's going to be loving any kind of debuff that goes on him because of the double unity effect that he essentially has with the slot A skill and with his weapon. And this slot A skill also provides him with a guaranteed follow-up attack, because Robin is not the fastest, so this guaranteed follow-up attack is definitely going to be helpful. He also has Seal Attack 4, so thus the family of the Seal 4 skills is completed now. So he's basically going to be able to get the guard effect pretty easily because of the Seal Attack 4, which is going to be helping him defensively. And then he has got Canto Control 3, which is a pretty nice skill, mostly for AETHER defense and for Summoner Duels. For the latter, he's definitely going to be used quite a lot. I don't think he's going to be used too much in AETHER defense because he is an Earth Legendary unit, so you have to coincide the season so that you don't really lose any kind of lift on defense. So that is going to be Legendary Male Robin, and we do see his stats here actually. He is going to be taking out this blue Mage Cavalier with an amazing animation, and here we can see that he's going to be debuffing this Archer and this Staff Healer, and also giving the Grand Strategy effect to himself and the allies within 2 spaces. And we do see his stats here. Seeing his stat spread, it is going to be a bit weirdly allocated, but it doesn't really matter too much because he's going to be a stat ball, and he's going to be getting a lot of stats with the Grand Strategy, with the slot A skill, and the stat swing that he gets with the debuffs on the opponent, and also the extra stats that he can get with the Unity effect and the Grand Strategy is definitely pretty nice. So he's going to be mostly a very solid support unit to provide the Grand Strategy effect to multiple allies at the same time without the use of the Duo Button like you have to do with Duochrome. So that is definitely a big benefit of this kind of legendary male Robin, and that is definitely going to be his strength, because he is going to be functioning as a super good support unit, and he can stack up even more support skills like Infantry Null Follow-Up, for example, and provide even more support to his allies. And combat wise, he's going to be loving any kind of debuff on himself, because so he actually loves those debuffs, and someone like Yune panicking him, debuffing him, is going to be making him pretty powerful. But he is going to be susceptible to null follow-up, and he's not going to be very fast, so that's why you have to watch out for that. And he's mostly going to be like a stat ball. In the combat, he doesn't really get any kind of like unique effects. He is mostly going to be getting the unique effect, which is support oriented, which is grand strategy, and that is going to be really good to give to the other allies. But in the combat, he doesn't really have like any kind of tempo effect or damage reduction piercing or damage reduction himself. So he is not going to be standing out too much in the combat in terms of that, but still, overall, he is going to be a stat ball and is going to be able to function pretty well in the combat. But still, you have to watch out for some things like null follow-up, for example, because he's not going to be very fast. So overall, I think that he is a pretty decent unit and a solid support unit who's going to be useful in Aether Raid's offense and Summoner Duels S, and of course in Arena, because he is going to be a high-scoring legendary unit. And each year, we do see a bit of increase in the score on these legendary units. Last year, it was legendary Sida, so legendary male Robin is also going to be seeing the increase in his dual skills effect. So he's going to be able to score like the highest scoring Earth legendary unit along with legendary Fae, so that is going to be pretty solid. And he's definitely going to be a really solid unit in Arena. If you're going to be building him up, then you can definitely try and replace his special with something like Glimmer or Ruptured Sky, which is going to be a 1 cooldown special, and Bonfire or Luna could also be run. So those are going to be the specials that he can run, and his slot skill is going to be right there. Nobody's really going to be changing that, and for his slot B, you can definitely try and run Special Spiral 4 so that he can pierce through the damage reduction and also get the extra true damage, which is going to be really good. And he can essentially spam something like Luna with Special Spiral 4 and pierce through the damage reduction, which is going to be really good. And a lull skill or a tempo skill is also going to be an option that he can run. The lull skill is definitely going to be helpful in Arena because people do have the rally skills and everything there. So lull skills can help, and the tempo skill is definitely going to be helping you take care of many of the safe tanks who do have the guard effect. So you can pretty much trigger your special on the double attack, which is going to be really helpful, especially when you run him with Brattle Catria or Winter Cordelia. And Guard 4 is also going to be a pretty nice option that you can run in a slot B because it does give you the damage reduction on foe's first attack, and it also still gives you the guard effect, which you also get from the Steel Attack 4, but with the Guard 4, you're also going to be getting the damage reduction. When it comes to slot C, you can definitely change quite a bit, so you can just double down on the support and even run Infantry Null Follow-Up, and Panic Smoke 4 could also be run if you want to make him even more of a stat ball and have the stat swing, because he does debuff the opponent, so it is pretty easy for him to take benefit out of that with the Panic Smoke 4. And you can always run Time Pulse 4 with a 2 cooldown special like Glimmer or Ruptured Sky and pretty much always have it pre-charged. And an Oath 4 skill is going to be enabling the visible buffs and also the teleportation, so that is going to be pretty helpful. Now let's take a look at my Earth Legendary tier list. So in tier 1, I'm definitely going to be having Legendary Nana, and in my opinion, she's the best Earth Legendary unit because she's essentially a delete button. She's absolutely amazing as a melee nuke and can pierce through damage reductions and all kinds of miracles and all kinds of specials, so that makes her a really good and solid unit. And in tier 2, I would definitely put our new Legendary Male Robin here. So he's definitely pretty nice with that scoring. Scoring 762, which is going to be the highest among Earth Legendary units, and he's going to be tying with Legendary Fae for the highest scoring Earth Legendary unit, so he's definitely pretty good for scoring and for providing that support with grand strategy. We also have Legendary Dietra, who is also a very solid nuke, and she is going to be functioning with her special for getting that miracle. And then we also have Legendary Alm. After his Refine and Remix, he's an absolutely amazing nuke and can shred through so many of the tanks, and he's also going to be really good with the null follow-up effects that he can easily give with Infantry Null Follow-Up or Infantry Speed Tactics. So it can just free up his slot B skill so that he can just run Water Sweep, and that is going to be really solid. I'm also going to be having Legendary Claude here because he does have pretty good mobility, and Fallen Star is still pretty nice to have in Arena. In tier 3, I do have Legendary Julia, who's definitely a lot better now after her Refine and Remix. Both of them were pretty solid, and we do have Legendary TK as well, who can definitely function as a far safe tank. And then Legendary Faye definitely benefits from the tier 4 slot B skills and distant counter dragon sacred skills, so she can definitely score a lot better in arena than a lot of the units. And as you can see, she is going to be scoring as much as the newest Earth Legendary unit, which is going to be Legendary Male Robin here. So yeah, Legendary Faye is definitely pretty nice after distant counter dragon sacred seal and the new tools that dragon units have got. And in tier 4, I do have Legendary Seliph and Legendary Grima. So unfortunately, Legendary Seliph is going to be waiting for his Refine and Remix, which is definitely going to be a couple of months away. And Legendary Grima is not going to be able to score too high because she's an older Legendary unit and she can only run a dual skill, and she needs that Dragon Skin too to function a bit better as a unit. So unfortunately, she does get outclassed in terms of the scoring, and both of these units do face a tough time basically when it comes to the Earth season. And then in the final tier, I do have Legendary Ike, who did get an unfortunate remix and refine. So Legendary Ike pretty much just has Radiant Aether 2, and that's about it. So that is going to be my Earth Legendary tier list. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below if you agree or disagree with it. And overall, this banner is definitely going to be providing you great value on the green color and also on the color list, because we do have Elamine, Rearm Grima, and also Ashera. So I'm not going to be going over every single unit this time, but still, I'm going to be giving you my opinion. So colorless is also really stacked, with green having Thor, Legendary Xander, and our new Legendary Male Robin color sharing. So both of these colors are definitely going to be pretty good. And blue is going to be decent depending on your priorities. Like if you want to get merges for your Legendary Female Pilot or Legendary Faye, then it is going to be decent. And Saros might be a dud for many people. Red is kind of lackluster because we do have Gregor and Legendary Seliph. Shez does provide some amazing fodder, but that's pretty much it. Legendary Male Robin himself is definitely going to be pretty amazing just as a one-off copy, and now that we have the Legendary unit change in Arena, he's definitely going to be a pretty good unit if you do have him, because he's going to be a consecutive bonus unit for next 4 weeks, I believe. So if you do get one copy of him, then that is definitely going to be making things easier for you in Arena. And we are going to be having New Spring Banner next month, and also Legendary Salika and Bramimon Remix Banner. And we are probably going to be getting a new rearmed hero as well next month, because this month we did have an Ascended unit. So maybe it could be a new Engage banner. And of course, a Hero Rises banner is going to be happening in March as well, which is going to be a huge thing. And we might be getting a new Wind Legendary unit at the end of next month. And this is what next month's Legendary Hero banner might look like. So we do have Emblem and Legendary Seagate in the red color confirmed to be rerun, and Harden and Kaldori might show up in the blue pool, and in green pool we might have Ascended Air, and colorless pool already is set in stone with Medius, Goto, and Asker. So maybe the new Legendary unit for Wind could be red, or it could even be green actually, because Legendary Ninian is right there. So this banner is going to be lasting for a while, and definitely until the point where we are going to be able to know who is going to be on the Hero Rises banner. So you can definitely try and plan with your orbs. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously. And if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as 11 Sword Robin. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.